Major support has been provided by Chevron, the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, Edison International, Valley Strong Credit Union, California Resources Corporation, Panama Buena Vista Union School District, and the Kern High School District. With additional production assistance provided by these supporters of education in Kern County and throughout the state of California.
We're back out here. We're so excited. Back with Craig out here at Quinn Caterpillar.
Hello.
What is this building focused on, and how does it play into the training program here?
That's a great question. Yeah, so previously we focused more on the other side, which primarily are the tractors that are in the dirt. This time in this building, we focus on our forklift business, our power generation, so generators, stationary engines, which could be anything from pulling water out of the ground to powering something else, and also on-highway vehicles, school buses, semi-trucks that are Caterpillar powered.
Wow, so really anything, it's not just agriculture equipment.
Yes.
or heavy-duty construction. Really, it's anything that really uses power. You guys have a hand in it.
Correct.
That's fantastic. I mean, I look around and we have, it looks like a water truck here.
Yeah.
We have a ditch witch. I'm sure people have seen both of these around Bakersfield and around the valley, not just at construction or agriculture sites, but really anywhere you'll see some of this equipment out here. And I mean, my next question is, how do people get started in this business? I mean, do people have to go to college for it? Can they just come straight out of high school?
Caterpillar has a program, Think Big program, we'll talk about a little bit later, to get technicians certified, Caterpillar certified, and also come out of the program with an AA. We do have folks that come either from a ag background where maybe they worked on the farm, people that maybe come from another side of the business, I guess, either on-highway truck, from a dealership or something like that, and technicians that have zero experience, that have on-the-job training. So it's a combination of everything.
So I believe we do have someone else who can shed a little more light on that also. I believe we have another person here from Quinn Caterpillar.
Yeah, this is Billy Ritter. So Billy's the manager for power.
So Billy, I mean, what's like someone who's in high school right now? I mean, I know we have a huge program, the C-Tech and ROC program out with Kern High. Is that something you guys recommend to students who are looking to get into this industry to get that hands-on experience before they come here?
That's a really good entry point for a lot of people that have never dealt with this, and it gets their feet wet, so to speak. ROC is really good. They actually go quite in depth, a lot more than what I've expected. And you get a lot of people that come here with a lot more knowledge than the generic run-of-the-mill technician.
If they come in with that training, do they get to start working on machines right away? Or is there a little bit of the Caterpillar side of the training to go hands-on?
We can kind of gauge how much they already know, and a lot of them, they'll let you know, what up front, like what they do or they're comfortable with or not. And we can actually put them straight to work on a lot of different things.
Wow.
Usually we'll have them shadow with like a senior technician to make sure that they're doing it right and safely. But beyond that, usually within a couple months, if they're doing good and we can see that they're doing it the correct way and the safe way, we'll let them go and kind of do their own thing, just monitor them.
Right, so do they necessarily have to go through the Caterpillar training? Is that something that's required, that Think Big program?
If they show some really good forethought and knowledge on what they're wanting to do, we can progress that with external training, either whether it be our own training department, but they don't have to go to CAT school specifically.
Awesome.
Yeah, we have different avenues on-site as well as off-site to help technicians get through that, and also somewhat of an internship. So whether it's ROC or, like Billy's saying, working hand in hand with other technicians, the CAT program is not required.
Okay. So definitely, whatever someone comes to you with, that you guys have the tools, the training, the forethought ready to get them from whatever stage of life they were in into here, ready to work and start working on these heavy machines.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's amazing. Well, for now, we're going to end it there. We're going to send it back to you guys in the studio. When we come back, we're going to talk to someone who went through the ROC or C-Tech program and we'll see how it's helped them get along here at Quinn Caterpillar. Come back to you guys right after this. And welcome back out to Quinn Caterpillar. Mickey here, and I'm back with Billy. And Billy, looking at it behind us, we have some tore down machinery, but before someone can work on this, what's the process to get someone certified or trained by CAT? I know before you mentioned the Think Big program. What does that look like for an employee?
Think Big program, it's more a little bit of everything. It's a very well-rounded training. They come back with the basic knowledge that they should be able to, pretty much tear an engine down, work on hydraulics, cooling packages, stuff like that.
So they go out there, get the fundamentals, come back here and begin to use that in real world scenarios. Now, do you guys just throw them straight onto the floor and say, all right, you got your 9 weeks, good luck, here we go, or do they shadow someone, or is it a little of both?
It's a little bit of both. If they come back and they can prove, that they have picked up what they learned in school, we usually try to, let them do their thing and just shadow them, kind of watch them, make sure they don't, mess up or get hurt.
Okay.
But there's some situation where if it's really an in-depth kind of a job, like a tear down or an overhaul, we'll stick them with a senior technician so that way they can shadow them, they can pick up traits and different things that maybe they didn't quite learn in school.
Awesome, and I know we have Chris here who has been through the Think Big program, but not only just Think Big, but also the ROC Tech program here in the current high district. So Chris, was Think Big your first one? Was ROC your first experience, or was there something before that where you had hands-on experience working with tools and automotive?
Yeah, so growing up, my grandfather and my father were both mechanics, so I grew up in the mechanics field. We had a shop out in Lost Hills. That's pretty much where I did most of my growing up. And then my first introduction into the professional style mechanics was ROC. I went to the ROC program my senior year of high school. And then from then there, CAT did a presentation, kind of like an orientation for this Think Big program. I applied, I ended up getting selected. So it's a 4-year program, but the first 2 years are actually going to schooling. It's CAT schooling mixed with community college. So you go in 9-week blocks back and forth, 9 weeks at school, 9 weeks here at the dealership working for the first 2 years. And then you get your 2-year degree, you pass all the CAT courses that are mixed in with your GED. And then the second 2 years are here on the job, shadowing, and pretty much proving that you can use what you learned at Think Big and you can handle it on your own.
So here in the service bay, do you stay here in the shop or do you go out in the field, or a little of both?
So when I used to be a shop tech, but now I'm a field technician in a service truck making field calls, doing on-site repairs that are not here at the shop.
So a repair like this, is this something you would go out in the field and be able to do hands-on in the moment, or is this more of a bigger repair on a pump here?
So this is something I would get called out to. I could do very big repairs to this, but this one needed the repair is too big to do out in the field, so we ended up pulling it from location, bringing it down to the shop so the repair could be done here at the shop.
Okay, but even still, this is something you could load up in the back of the truck. You could diagnose it out there and go,
absolutely.
I can get most of this done, but I'm not gonna be able to finish the job in the field. I need a little more resource available.
If it was just a case of pulling a cylinder head or something, I could do it out in the field, but this one ended up needing a little bit more work than that. And the cleanliness factor needed to be up there. So we brought it back to the shop. I did unbolt it from location, put it in the back of the service truck, used the crane, and I brought it back here to the shop.
That's awesome. Well, Billy, Chris, thank you guys so much. When we come back from you guys in the studio, we're going to keep looking here at Quinn Caterpillar, see what other opportunities there are for students to come into the workforce, be prepared, and come and join the industry of big yellow machines that never stop and they never quit. Back out here at Quinn Caterpillar, and here one of the service department bays, here with Billy. Billy, we've already talked about how someone gets trained, how ROC can play a role in that, the Think Big program. Now, what does it look like when they come for that first day of work after going to that Think Big program? What are some of the things that they bring into the shop that you can see? You're like, oh, yep, they were at Think Big. I can see how they set things up. What is some evidence of that and procedures you guys see when they come in?
A lot of them are they come in with a certain amount of meticulousness to the job. And to improve on that and expound upon it, usually we stick them with a senior technician. So they learn really good procedures of how the work should flow. That way they're not just haphazard. They're not just tearing things apart and throwing them in piles.
Okay, so I'm looking back here. It's not a pile. Someone might look and say, oh, it's dirty, it's messy, but really there's a system back here that someone has understood and learned. Can we take a walk? Well, let's kind of see, kind of give us some examples of things that the program teaches that you guys expect of your technicians to ensure, you know, compliance and safety.
Well, like this, for instance, they got this drive set up here on the table. And you notice it's chained and strapped down for personal safety, because it may set their balance for so long unstrapped, but it could be you or somebody else could walk by and that thing could roll off just because.
Okay.
It could lose balance or whatever, but that's proper technique for making sure that the technician's safe and everybody around it's safe.
So even as we walk through, we don't have 1,000 pounds going to roll onto a foot, and all of a sudden you go,
Exactly.
oh, there's one, it's a customer's part, two, it's a safety violation, and you know the cost with that. So that's one aspect. What about everything over here on the rags, not touching a table surface? It looks like it's pretty organized. I mean, is this something so that way when they put it back together, when they tear it apart, it's all kind of there for them?
Yes, it's that way they have their own, and each technician's different the way they may do it. But each one of them has their own method to their madness, to say. That way they can reach back, and you'll see some technicians, they may not even look. They may just reach back and grab the part, but they know that the part that they put there is the one that should be there.
And that's part of that Think Big training, is you need to know what you're using, how to use it, where to put it. And but even there is the flexibility, because technicians, they're not going to do something the same as the next person in the next bay.
Correct.
But there's the standard that Caterpillar wants and that you guys at Quinn want to ensure compliance and reliability.
Exactly.
Well, perfect. Well, Billy, thank you so much. If someone wanted to get involved in the Think Big program or work here at Quinn Caterpillar, what does that process look like? What do they need to do?
We actually have it's almost like a job application. They actually apply for the position. We will go through each application one by one, and then we will, bring them in for an actual interview. Most people would approach school as just, well, I'm going to school. But this is actually like you're doing a job interview. You should come in, professional, dressed well, and be ready to talk about what you do know. And most people, they don't, unless these kids are coming out of high school or whatever, they don't have a whole lot of past work experience, but bring what you do have. Like, hey, I worked on the farm, or I worked in the shop with my dad, worked on cars. Just stuff like that makes a difference in letting us know what you can or can't do, or what you should be starting with.
Awesome. Well, Billy, on behalf of Do the Math, we want to say thank you for helping us do the math out here at Quinn Caterpillar. I mean, it's definitely always a great opportunity to come out here and see how math is used every day. Most people think of, well, I need algebra for this, and there's math all around this place, especially with thousands of pounds of machinery moving around. It's an amazing opportunity to see how students can use math and not necessarily, geometry or different things like that, but how does it play out in the real world? So, Billy, thank you so much for that opportunity.
No, thank you. I appreciate it.